Good evening, everyone. I'd like to officially call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be amended as follows. We have one addition, item 11A, number 1, Brandon Chamber of Commerce State of the Province meeting on May the 16th. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular council meeting agenda as amended. I'm assuming all those in favor. Anyone opposed? Moving on. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meetings. And those are our regular council meeting of April the 29th and the special council meeting on May the 6th. Questions or comments regarding either of those minutes as they were presented? No? Call for the question, and all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Be resolved that council accepts as information a delegation from the Intermountain Watershed District. All in favor? Thank you. And here they are. Come on in, folks. Grab a seat at the interrogation table. Hi. Hey. Is Lori coming, guys? No? Okay. That's okay. Hey, how's it going? Good. Thanks, Jans. And Merv, just push the button on that speaker when you're going to talk. Oh, okay. And as we have one counselor, Councillor Stakilo, is online today. And we're recording the meeting, so great. Okay, so thanks again for coming. I know that previous councils have had delegations from the Watershed District, so we've got 15 minutes pegged in the agenda, but if it's a few minutes shorter or longer than that, we can probably, then I got to get the big hook out to get you out of here if you go longer. But Merv, you're the chair, correct? Yeah. And Chance, you're the project manager? Yep. Okay, so turn it over to you, gentlemen, and the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Mervyn Kotick. Everybody calls me Chico. I'm chairman of the board. This past year has been a year of change for the district once again. Our long-standing manager, Jeff Thiele, retired at the end of June. The board decided to change the operating structure and fill a vacancy with current staff. The district now has a management team, which includes the district administrator and a project manager. Lori Hickaway is a district administrator. She has worked for the district for 23 years and is responsible for the general management of the district, administration, finance, governance, policy, personnel, public relations, and education. Chance Hawley is the project manager. He has worked for the district for 4 years and is responsible for management of the district's projects, conservation and infrastructure projects, health and safety. He was previously our infrastructure coordinator and gained value experience managing, prioritizing, planning, and delivering projects. He is able to provide the guidance and the expertise the district needs to deliver our programs and complete projects. The district also has 3 full-time coordinators that are responsible for data collection and project delivery. 1 administrative assistant who works 4 days a week. She works in both the St. Rose and Ethelbert offices. 1 PWCP technician who works on a contract basis to deliver the Prairie Watershed Climate Program. 1 to 2 seasonal laborers to assist the infrastructure program, and 2 to 4 summer students depending on the project's plan. We have 14 municipal partners, 10 sub-districts, 58 sub-district members, 1 provincial appointee, 1 board appointee, and the district encompasses 12,508 square kilometers, which is a little bit larger than twice the area of Prince Edward Island. So we've got a lot of territory to cover. And then below is a list of our board members and which sub-districts they represent.
So I'm Chance Hully, the project manager. So I work out of both St. Rose and Ethelbert offices. So just our IMWD external funding program updates. So PWCP, that's a Prairie Watershed Climate Program that covers cover crops, rotational grazing, nitrogen management, includes soil testing, mapping, legumes and equipment upgrades, slow release fertilizers and inhibitors. So that's some funding that we get to give out to local producers. So last year there were 84 applicants and $1,073,000, just over that, was paid to local producers. 126 applications have been received for 23-24 fiscal year, and another $1 million will be paid out to local producers. We have received more applications than funding available, and we anticipate another $1 million of PWCP funding for this year and hope the program will be extended to 2028. So program criteria and caps are being finalized, and the application forms are up on our website as of right now. So the GROW program, that covers water retention, wetlands, riparian areas, buffers, and uplands, which includes soil health and pollinator crops. To date, we have spent $147,000 on GROW projects in the area. The district has been approved for another $129,500 of GROW funding for this year. If there's any larger projects that you would like to see completed, please let us know so that we can start the preliminary work and see if we meet the funding criteria for that program. The next one is the RELP program. That's Resilient Agricultural Landscape Program. So that covers agroforestry, grasslands and grazing management, natural upland area rejuvenation and enhancement, riparian area enhancement, water retention and runoff management, and wetland restoration and enhancement. The district has been approved for $100,000 to build 2 water retention dams, which will be completed this summer. We also have applied for more funding for the 2024 project intake, and we're still waiting to see if we got that or not. Another program that we get funding through is the Lake Winnipeg Basin. The district has applied for funding through Lake Winnipeg Basin for this year, and we're still waiting to hear if it's been approved. So that one, that covers some stream bank stabilization projects in the area. And then Living Labs, it's kind of a newer program that funding is available to landowners wishing to complete research-based projects on their property. So a list of eligible projects is being developed in 2 categories: cropping systems and natural infrastructure activities such as wetlands, grasslands, and trees. So that one, it's kind of a just getting started and just getting off the ground. So if you know any landowners that would like to be involved in something like that, it's a research-based rate on their property. So you can get a hold of us, see if we can get them in. Then our community trees to municipalities. IMWD offers trees to partnering municipalities in the fall. An email will be sent out to all municipalities, and those who respond are given trees on first come, first served basis. So if you guys want any trees for any public spaces, we do our larger trees in the fall. So give us a shout and we can get you on a list. So IMWD's operating budget for 23-24 fiscal year ending March 31st, 2024 was just over 1.4 million, plus an additional $1 million that was paid directly to local producers through the PWCP program. So that gives you a breakdown underneath there where that money gets spread out to. And on the last page, so a project update. The west side of our district, the old Intermountain Conservation District area, delivers conservation programs, and the east side of our district, the old Turtle River Conservation District area, has an infrastructure mandate and is responsible for maintaining and repairing 944 crossings, so culverts, 56 bridges, and approximately 800 kilometers of drains. Conservation program is slowly being expanded to the eastern portion of our district with the help of external funding programs. So last year, a list of projects here, we built 3 water retention dams, completed 3 stream bank stabilization projects. We did a pool and riffle study on the Vermilion River with fish and wildlife enhancement funding, so that's WEF funding. That one's currently we're still doing the study, and then we actually got more funding this year to rebuild some of the pool and riffles on the Vermilion River. Forage seed program 22-23, 30,000 was paid out and another 19,000 from our 23-24 budget. Abandoned wells, we sealed 30 abandoned wells last fall. That one we always do lots of every year. And tree orders, our 2023 tree program had 193 orders, and we sold just over 13,000 trees. From 2019 to 2023, IMWD has sold just over 59,000 trees to area residents. And our 24 tree program, we were just bundling trees today, and we'll be handing them out this week. So it says we're currently sitting at 103 orders, but we've been getting more every day. And we still have some trees available. If anybody wants, you can get a hold of us if you're looking for trees. So we did 91 infrastructure work orders in 2023, which included drain maintenance, drain reconstruction, crossing maintenance, crossing replacements, and beaver management within district drains, and brushing and mowing on district drains. A total of 280 project applications were received in 23, plus the 193 tree applications. So staff are kept very busy reviewing, investigating, planning, and delivering projects. The district applies for external funding to allow us the opportunity to deliver more projects. So it brings in a lot of extra money. And then our LiDAR, IMWD will now be sharing its LiDAR data to the MLI website. So we have started the process. But we are currently awaiting confirmation from the province as to when it'll be available, because they're updating their servers right now. So they have the info, and once we upload it to that, anybody can access it free of charge here and do what they wish with it. So our district programs are listed on the attached sheet. Please feel free to print out copies of our application forms and distribute to any ratepayers. The application forms will be available on our website as soon as they are updated. So most of them are up there, I think. And our website is imwd.ca. Then that's just address and info on both our Ethelbert and St. Rose offices, as well as on the bottom, we have all our staff with their position title there. You guys have any questions for us?
Anyone from council have any? Yep, Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. With the tree orders, now I understand that a lot of those trees are for windbreaks and like the toboggan hill apply for them and that sort of thing. Are you looking at putting them into the hands of individuals? And where I'm heading with this is we have a chip and soil day coming up through Communities in Bloom. Like, do you have trees you have to get rid of? Might there be an avenue for them to be given away through that?
There's a possibility for that. Like, right now we are doing individual tree orders. So people that want them for their farms and stuff, and just yards. So, with that, if we do have leftovers, that's something I could look into for sure. So what was that called again? You said
It's a chip and soil day that our Councillor Lachlan and I are on that committee, and basically we get a bunch of soil and wood chips at the horse barn. It's on the Saturday after the long weekend, so the 25th, and people donate perennials and that sort of thing. So it's just sort of a kick off the gardening season kind of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
If we have any leftovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just give
Certainly
City
consider
Hall a
that.
call and they'll get the message to us.
Some of the leftovers, we have our own plantation. So the staff will be planting some of the leftovers, but if,
Yeah.
like, these are small trees.
Yeah.
Stuff in the plantation is 4 or 5 feet tall.
Mhm.
That we give away in the fall. Well, we might be able to work that into your,
Okay.
with that, yeah.
Do you have an idea like how many? you'd
I'm
want?
just thinking off the top, 15 or 20.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, we could do that for sure.
Okay.
That's, I was saying a couple hundred or.
We'll start with 15 and 20 this year.
Did I say 20? I meant 200, yeah.
We'll give you guys a call for sure.
Thanks, Councillor Bellemare. Charlotte, did you want to just ask a question?
Yeah, thanks guys for coming in and for the information. One of the things that we heard, like the two districts amalgamated, what is it, maybe 4 years ago or so?
2000.
Yeah. So I remember going to meetings and there was a lot of uproar about how difficult it was going to be to amalgamate and how it wasn't going to mesh very good because they were very different, conservation versus the infrastructure stuff going on. How's it going?
Very well.
Yeah, I'm glad.
We
to
had a
hear.
couple of rough years, really rough years, but the people that we have now are very committed to seeing everything working. And yeah, it's working really well.
Good to
We're
hear.
trying to expand with external funding, trying to expand the conservation programs over onto to incorporate them with the infrastructure programs.
Yeah, that's what you
in the
said.
Old
Matt.
Turtle District, and it's a new mine site, and
Mm-hmm.
it's typical, something new,
Take some time.
it
Hey?
takes time, yeah, but it's working very well.
Yeah, it's,
Great to
it's working good now. Everybody's working together in one
Yeah.
big organization. So.
We've
Good.
got staff running both ways, and Chance does programs on both sides, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's it took some time, and yeah,
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I just have one other follow-up then. Several months ago, we had another delegation from a group that was formed at Lake Dauphin, Friends of Dauphin Lake,
oh yeah.
and they wanted to do a weed harvester project. I don't know the status of that or where it's at, but did they contact you or did you have any communication with them? Can you do you have an
Yes,
update
they-
or anything?
They did a
or-
presentation, they had a fellow come to our meeting, and like, it's not really, we haven't got the funding to get involved with a program like that. That's a big problem. And we've got so much other programming going on right now that we just couldn't get involved with it, eh?
Is that a jurisdiction that you guys are involved with or you would get consulted by or because there wasn't any information presented as I recall about that they reached out to the province or the feds or anybody who may have jurisdiction over a water body like that. So that's why I'm asking. if
Yeah,
you guys,
I was actually at a meeting last week. They had another meeting with some provincial staff about that, and still kind of in the early stages. But they did give an update at last week's meeting about kind of where they're at. They're still fundraising to purchase. I believe they purchased a weed harvester already, an older one, and they're working on getting it rolling type deal right now. So, but yeah, they're looking into permits with DFO and provincial fisheries and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so. Still a work in progress from what I understand.
okay, thanks, Chance. Any other questions from anyone? Dev, no, nothing upstairs? Upstairs. Well, yeah. All right. Final comments over to you guys. If there's anything else you wanted to.
Well, just keep us in mind, and we look forward to working with you. You are contributing, and we try and do a little bit for everybody that's involved, and
Can't make you do more for the big town in the district, eh?
I know one project that we are looking into right now is that stream bank one in Vermilion Park. Where
Okay.
I believe we're working with Lee on that. So that's we're still we had applied for some funding and waiting on until we hear back from that, and then we'll be in touch on
Okay.
it to move forward. So.
Perfect. Well, again, on behalf of council, thanks for taking the time to come and give us an update, and thanks for the handout, and keep doing good work. Thank
thank you
you.
for your time.
Yep. Thank you guys very much.
So just call for I think we passed that motion already. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda, and that's the consent agenda. We've got a number of action items. This is Christian Laughlin, the Deputy Mayor, requested that each one be read for Sean's benefit. So we will start it off with National Police Week proclamation. Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Proclamation, whereas National Police Week began in 1970 as a way for the police to connect with their communities and to increase awareness about the service they provide. And whereas the theme for this year's campaign is Committed to Serve Together, which is an opportunity to emphasize how police officers are committed to working together with their agencies and with other police services, first responders, and social and community organizations for a stronger, safer, brighter future for all. And whereas this year, we recognize the connection between the police and the citizens they serve and the importance of understanding one another. And whereas the City of Dauphin celebrates and commends police officers for serving as valuable public safety partners and for their critical role in contributing to the safety of citizens and communities across the country. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim May 12th to May 18th, 2024 as National Police Week.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. We'll move to the next proclamation. That's Councillor Sobering.
Proclamation, whereas the Moosehide Campaign is an Indigenous-led grassroots movement of men, boys, and all Canadians standing up to end violence against women, children, and all those along the gender continuum. And whereas the Moosehide Campaign was founded along the Highway of Tears in British Columbia in response to the injustices and violence faced by many women and children in Canada, particularly those who are Indigenous. And whereas intimate partner violence is at epidemic proportions across Canada, with more than 4 in 10 women having experienced it in their lifetime. And this reality is worse for Indigenous women, who are twice as likely to experience violence from their current or of former partners. And whereas the Moosehide Campaign has distributed more than 5 million Moosehide pins, which spark conversations about violence against women, children, and all those along the gender continuum. And whereas wearing the Moosehide pin demonstrates a commitment to honor, respect, and protect the women and children in your life, end gender-based violence, and take meaningful action towards reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. And whereas participating in the Moosehide Campaign is a concrete action for all citizens to address the legacies of colonization, residential schools, and the reality of more than 1,200 missing or murdered women in Canada. And whereas engagement with the Moosehide Campaign aligns with the United Nations Declarations of the Right of Indigenous People, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action, and the calls for justice of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Now, therefore, we, the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim May 16th as Moosehide Campaign Day.
Thank you, Councillor Sobering. The next proclamation is Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. I had to look up the word biphobia before because I didn't know it was so people who have feelings against bisexual people. Anyways, proclamation. Whereas the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia is recognized annually on May 17th to draw attention to the 2 SLQBTQ1 and or 1+ community and the discrimination and prejudice that is often directed at its members. And whereas the City of Dauphin embraces diversity and values the 2 SLGBTQ1+, am I saying that right at the end? Okay, because they changed it, so I haven't read it out loud before. Community and declares that homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia are not welcome in our community. And whereas the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia is a day to continue our collective journey towards cultivating a society that ensures justice and protection for all. And whereas May 17th is the day to speak out against the phobias affecting lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, two-spirit, intersex communities, and all people with diverse sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions or characteristics. And whereas in a fair and just world, no one shall be excluded, ostracized, or left behind. Now, therefore, we the Council of the City of Dauphin do hereby proclaim May 17th, 2024 as International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia, signed by our mayor.
Thank you. The next proclamation is Councillor Ray.
Thank you. Whereas public works professionals focus on facilities, services, and infrastructure that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and the well-being of the people of Dauphin. And whereas these facilities, services, and infrastructure could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Dauphin to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest in and the understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in our community. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim May 19th to 25th, 2024, as National Public Works Week.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. And our last proclamation is Deputy Mayor Lachlan.
Thank you. This one's for Access Awareness Week. Whereas achieving accessibility will improve the health, independence, and well-being of persons disabled by barriers, and whereas most Manitobans will confront barriers to accessibility at some point in their lives. And whereas persons disabled by barriers face a wide range of obstacles that prevent them from achieving equal opportunities, independence, and full economic and social integration. And whereas barriers create considerable costs to persons disabled by those barriers, their families and friends, and communities and the economy. And whereas in developing our built environment, barriers have been perpetuated. And whereas a systemic and proactive approach for identifying, preventing, and removing barriers complements the Human Rights Code in ensuring accessibility for Manitobans. And whereas under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which Canada ratified back in 2010, member states are expected to take appropriate measures to ensure accessibility and independent living. And whereas the equality rights of all Canadians, including persons disabled by barriers, are enshrined in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim May 26th to June 1st as Access Awareness Week.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lachlan and all council. I think that's a record for me, 5 proclamations in one meeting. As in past years, did you beat that record? Okay, well, we're gunning for your record, okay? Never mind. Thanks for that, everyone. We've got a couple of other stuff to go through on the consent agenda. We have a number of filing items, some information from the provincial government, their new community development program that was issued by Municipal Northern Relations, and Safer Communities information, a press release that the Premier and the Justice Minister sent out. We have some information from Municipal and Northern Relations regarding the school tax rebate, the Mountain View School Division News Digest of April 22nd, Community Futures Parkland newsletter for May, Prairie Mountain Health, their newsletter for May, and Growing Manitoba Ag, May 2024 newsletter, and that's recommended by the Mayor and the City Manager. Be it resolved that all items listed and read under item 5, consent agenda be approved and form part of these minutes. And that's moved by Councillor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Ray. Questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? Call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that we accept as information the corporate report for the May 13th meeting from the City Manager, and that's for the month of April. Questions? The report was presented. Any questions for the manager? Seeing none, motion to accept. All in favor? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, that we accept as information the corporate report from the Deputy City Manager for the May 13th meeting. Questions or comments regarding the Deputy City Manager's report? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion is also carried. We're catching up, Sean, so just sit tight. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be resolved that we accept as information the corporate report from the ICT Manager for the month of April. Questions or comments? Seeing none, motion is carried by show of hands. There we go. I see how I'm tricking you, just trying to keep this interesting. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that the finance accounts, having been examined by council, be authorized and approved as follows. We had 85 checks in the last run that totaled $1,140,057.53. There were no voided checks in the current range, and there was no voided checks in the past range. And we had 6 electronic payments during the month of April that totaled $186,017.87. Questions or comments regarding the financial report? Before we call for the question, I just wanted to acknowledge our CFO, who's doing double duty or trying to with some staff shortages right now. So 3 cheers for Scott for getting the report done. All in question, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray, be it that we accept the engineering staff report for the meeting. That's the building inspector report of April 2024. Questions or comments regarding the building inspector's report? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering, that council accepts as information the protective services report from the animal control officer for April. Questions or comments regarding this report? No, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, whereas due notice was given with respect to the 2024 financial plan, and whereas no objections were received to that plan, and be resolved that the 2024 financial plan be accepted as presented. Further be resolved that council authorizes the mayor and the city manager to duly sign and seal the 2024 financial plan and forward it along with bylaw 03/2024 tax levy once it receives third reading to Manitoba Municipal and Northern Relations. Questions or comments regarding this motion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray, whereas Fire Chief Cam Avery negotiated a contract with Archangel Fireworks for the provision of fireworks display for Canada Day celebrations. Be resolved, the council accepts as information the contract between the city and Archangel Fireworks for the provision of fireworks on Canada Day, July the 1st, and further be resolved that council authorizes the contract with Archangel Fireworks to be signed and sealed by the fire chief on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Questions or comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that bylaw 03/2024, being a bylaw of the city of Dauphin to set the 2024 tax levy, be now read a second time. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be resolved that bylaw 03/2024, being a bylaw of the city of Dauphin to set the 2024 tax levy, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. This is a recorded vote, so we'll go through the list. Councillor Sobering, in favor, opposed, in favor. Councillor or Deputy Mayor Loughlin, yep. Councillor Stakilo, yep. Councillor Bellemare, Councillor Ray, Councillor Daly, and Bosiak does the same. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following invitations, and that's from the Brandon Chamber of Commerce, the State of the Province address on May the 16th. Councillor Stakilo, Councillor Ray, and myself will be attending that. The Royal Canadian Legion 100th anniversary of the Cenotaph celebration on June the 19th. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities, the 2024 Parkland District meetings on June the 25th. And Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, their Friday night grandstand opening on August the 2nd and the festival parade on August the 3rd. Further be resolved that any expenses related to council and senior management attending these events be borne by the city of Dauphin. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the following the community events the Moose Hide Campaign Day, which is on May 16th. And I'd like to acknowledge everyone is wearing the Moosehide symbol, and the Dauphin Active Living Center is having their ceremonial tribute in remembrance, and that's on June the 15th, 2024. Questions or comments? All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that council accepts as information the councillor reports for the meeting today. What's the date today? May the 13th? We'll start with Councillor Daly. How about right-hand side today?
Okay, thank you. Pretty light report. April 29th, attended the last regular council meeting. Shout out for May 3rd, we attended the Watson Arts Center to take in the co-op musical, which was very well done, very impressive show, and a tremendous crowd. So real good addition, I think, for our community to have these places to go and see local entertainment that, quite frankly, is a pretty talented group of people. So anyway, shout out to those folks. It was a great show. May 6th, I attended the MMF Community Advisory Board meeting at the 11th Avenue Hall. Francis Chartrand was the MC, more or less, for that meeting. That group hasn't met in person for probably more than 2 years since pre-COVID. So this is the first sort of in-person meeting we've had. And it was a good discussion, it was well attended. It's covers the same spectrum as a lot of advisory boards. RCMP, harm reduction, all of the agencies are involved in that, mostly MMF agencies. But the biggest pitch was to start trying to get ourselves with all of the agencies and organizations to get together to do grant requests. So instead of doing 5 individual grant requests for similar projects, everybody sort of get together and let's do one for big grant requests so we can actually get something significant accomplished. So it's a great idea, and everybody there was interested in doing that. So hopefully, and this group meets on the second Tuesday of every month. So I'll continue to file reports and see how that goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. April 29th, I attended the last regular council meeting. On the 30th, I attended the Parkland Chamber of Commerce luncheon, where the session was focused around community volunteers. May 1st, I was present at the Dauphin Rec Committee meeting at the Cup. May 2nd, I attended the MLA tours of the DFC and Parkview project. May 3rd, I took in the production as well of the co-op at the WAC, and just to reiterate what Councillor Daly said, it was an excellent production. May 6th, I attended the special council meeting here at City Hall. On the 8th, I was present at the Property Standards Committee meeting here in Chambers, and this afternoon I was present for our CSWB Teams meeting with CCFSC, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. Council work, I attended the meeting with the DNRC board on the 7th, and on the 10th, there was a Riverside cemetery planning meeting, and I also was at the same meeting as Councillor Ray for CSWB. And upcoming council events on the 25th, which is the Saturday after the long weekend, it's Chip and Soil Day at the Horse Barn. And we're looking for donations of perennials and or bedding plants that people may have. So contact City Hall and we'll make arrangements to get them from you. And mark this date on your calendar and bring your pails, and you can get topsoil and wood chips and buy new plants. And all of this is in support of beautification of our city. And if you're interested in adopting a planter on Main Street, contact City Hall as well. You can plant it yourself or get the Bloom team to do so, and you get to put your plaque with your name on it to show that you are a supporter of beautifying our city. Upcoming this week on Thursday, there's a powwow for ACC and school division grads that will take place between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. by the Rotary Arena, and everyone is welcome. There will be amazing regalia and lots of music, and bring a lunch, or I'm not sure of the seating, so just bring one in case, and support this year's grads. And also, I've had people contact me about wanting to support people who've been evacuated from Cranberry Portage due to the fire. And I'm thinking probably the best thing right now is to make a donation to the Red Cross, because they would be helping with the evacuation, and we'll just see how it goes. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Sticilo.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that. For myself, April 29th, regular council meeting. May 1st, had a rec board meeting. May 6th was the special council meeting, followed by planning and priorities meeting. May 7th, I was in attendance for the DNRC meeting, as mentioned. And then on May 8th, property standards meeting, was in attendance for that. And I just want to make mention quickly of the property standards. Right now, we're just in transition from, by law enforcement officer, and currently recruiting and looking for a new person to fill that position. But it is that time of year where, the snow's gone, things are starting to green up. You can see things a little bit better. So property standards is in full force, thanks to, staff members, Lisa Gadet, for keeping the files going and keeping everything active, and providing a great report at our last meeting here on the 8th. So I just wanted to make mention, and things are happening, and it's certainly appreciated. So with that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sticilo. Deputy Mayor Laughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For me, April 29th, I had that regular council meeting at City Hall. On May 6th as well, the special council meeting and planning and priorities meeting here at City Hall. The next day, I too was at that meeting with Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal. And that pretty much does it for me. A bit of a short report here today. Just want to remind people, though, I don't know how many tickets are left, but the Parkland Chamber hosting the State of the City tomorrow. And we did have a chamber meeting on May 9th, but I know the mayor is very much looking forward to the State of the City address at the Watson Arts Center tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that, even though I won't be in town. But that ends my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. And Councillor Sobring.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On April the 29th, I attended the regular council meeting and the May 6th special council meeting and planning priorities. On April the 30th, I attended the Dauphin District Handyvan AGM, annual general meeting. I went to that awesome play at the co-op. Thought it was fantastic as well. I'm very proud to be able to go to those type of things in the community of Dauphin. It was really well done. As always, for the musicals, shout out to Peter Nadolny. Especially for writing and directing it. And the only other kind of important thing of note is I did go out to Northgate with my mountain bike and some visitors from out of province, and it was dry and rideable, and all the bridges were in, so that was really good. And just another amazing amenity to enjoy and looking forward to this year. So lots of positivity going on, lots of good projects and works going on, and that's all I have for my report.
Thank you, Councillor Sobring. Just to conclude, I have nothing of value to add today, except that I just want to, again, commend council and particularly staff, senior staff that led us through the finance, the budget process. I know that that's a huge task annually, and with some of the situations with staff in-house, that the work that our senior managers do to pull that together for us is very well appreciated. I know by me, and I'm speaking on behalf of council for that. And so we will be submitting that report to the province as required, and that's one major responsibility out of the way now for 2024. So with that, all in favor of the resolution to accept the reports? Anyone opposed? and that motion is carried. And moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Stakala, be it resolved that council meeting is adjourned at 5:45, or is recessed, sorry, at 5:45 PM. All in favor? And motion is